What's up YouTube? Today I'm going to be speaking about why you should be travelling as a young man in order to accelerate your career and personal growth. So when I was 20 years old, I decided that I wanted to go live in New Zealand for a year, and there was an option to do a thing called a working holiday. So you could go to New Zealand on a one-year visa and you could effectively work in any kind of company out there and stay there for a year. Now, I saw this as a working holiday because I didn't really have a huge amount of money behind me, but I wanted to explore New Zealand. So this opportunity presented me with a ton of personal growth, because at the age of 20 years old, I turned up in New Zealand. I landed in Auckland Airport. I walked outside and I vividly remember this moment where I thought, fucking hell, I'm here in New Zealand, 25 hours flight on the other side of the world, completely on my own. I knew nobody. I had absolutely no clue about really what to do out there, what job I was going to be doing, where I was going to live, how I was going to get around. I didn't know anybody. So straight away I put myself in at the deep end, and within like 2 days I'd got my bank account set up. I started looking for jobs online, and I found a job at a car garage in Auckland, which was basically a Ford garage, and I was a car washer. So I used to valet the cars that had been serviced or repaired. And I was into work straight away. Within a week, I was staying in a hostel. I met a few people in the hostel and I was into that job straight away. Fast forward, I stayed at that job for around 2 weeks. I didn't really enjoy it. I thought, I've come to New Zealand to travel and see New Zealand, but I'm actually just sat in a car garage washing cars every day, going back to a hostel. So I didn't enjoy it. I found another job online and ended up going down to the Coromandel, which is about 2 hours south, just on the coast. Beautiful place, absolutely stunning. And what I got a job as was a bartender. So I was pouring pints, serving food, taking money, etc, etc. These are all different jobs I've never done before. And throughout that year, what I used to do was I'd work for a month and I'd travel for a month. And I'd basically work until I worked to have a decent amount of money behind me, and then I would continue traveling until I'd spent a decent amount of that money, and then I'd move on to the next place. And I kind of like paired up the work with the locations that I wanted to travel to in New Zealand. So why do I say that every man needs to travel? Well, that experience throughout that year gave me a hell of a lot of personal development. And I was only 20 to 21 years old at this point, on the other side of the world. I was working for myself, I was working for people, and I was supporting myself. So straight away I learned the importance of being able to budget money, the effect of earning your own money in terms of like valuing it, because I didn't exactly earn a lot of money and I used to spend it quite quickly because New Zealand's pretty expensive. I had to find somewhere to live. I had to be able to speak to landlords to assure them that I was trustworthy. I had to learn to be clean and tidy. I had to network with or meet other people because I didn't know anybody out there, so it vastly improved my social skills. And on top of that, I had to really just be my own person in every way. And if you don't go out of your local town or your local city, then you're never going to really have these opportunities, because you're always surrounded by your friends. You've got your family around you, support. You might be living at home, and that just gives you so much more comfort that realistically, if you want to be successful, you need to get yourself out of that mindset of comfort. So it was super important to me to have, it was super beneficial to me to have gone through that experience. It just really grows you as a person, because you don't have anybody to support you. And when you don't have anybody to support you, you really don't have a choice. And that is what leads to the growth of yourself. So where was I going with this? Sorry. So yeah, when you go through these situations where you have nobody to support you, you really do grow as a person. You have all these opportunities that can come your way. You meet so many people. For example, I worked at I was down in Lake Wanaka, and this was in the middle of the winter, where everybody went for the ski season. And I could not find a job whatsoever. Everybody was looking for a job. I was posting all the Facebook groups, all the job forums. Nothing was available because the whole city, the whole town, which is a very small town, was absolutely overrun with backpackers who wanted jobs for the winter in the ski season. So what I did is I posted on a Facebook forum. I said, look, I'm desperate for a job. I will work for anybody for free for 3 hours. And if I don't impress you within those 3 hours, you don't have to pay me. You don't have to give me a job, no problem. I'm that confident in myself that I know I can do any simple, basic job and I can do it well, as long as you've got somebody trustworthy. After probably 2 or 3 weeks of everybody saying there's no jobs, I had about 15 job offers within the space of 30 minutes. Because people recognised the hard-working mindset that I had. And I had 3 or 4 different ones I was considering, and I ended up going to do a trial shift with a guy who was doing carpet fitting. So he was fitting carpets into houses, into into garages and things like this. Never done manual work at all. But I turned up on the day, and ironically, I was really ill on the first day. I was super ill. I had like a big, horrible fever. But he recognised straight away that I turned up anyway. I worked hard, and yeah, straight away I got the job. And this job was better paying than any other job that had been advertised on the local forums. And that led to me working for that guy for over 6 months and making a really good live contact. I'm still staying in contact with him now, and he's still out there in New Zealand. But I learned so much through that. I learned so much through that job. I learned how to work with somebody alongside somebody. I was driving the van around all the time. I was taking care of jobs for him. I networked with other people in the industry. And that just shows you, if you just go out there and you actually put yourself into a position of desperation sometimes, that you can actually learn so much about how good you are at certain things. So traveling gives you that opportunity to grow as a person. And the one thing I'd say to you guys, if you're worried about it, like if you're thinking, well, what if I go there and lose one? Just come back. Like, just come back. You can get another job at any point. There's that many jobs here in the UK that you can get a job within a week. So what are you going to lose from the experience? Because you're going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to make lots of new friends abroad. You're going to have an amazing experience in terms of something that you can talk about, and it will give somebody that you ever want to work for a view that you have a bit of balls behind you to go and do something like that. So don't worry about the fact if it goes wrong, because it won't. The worst that can happen is you just come home. If you're living at home right now and you've got a job, you could even ask your job if you could go on I don't know what the sabbatical is, whatever it is, where you take a year out. You know, if you've done well at your job and you've got a good reputation there, then they'll probably consider that. I know I was consider. I did it from one of my employees. Didn't last that long, but you know, he came back and he's gone into another career now, which is fine. But I was very proud of him for, first of all, just taking the opportunity and taking the risk to go out there. So yeah, guys, if you're considering it, go for it. That's what I'm saying to you. You will never regret it. You're going to learn so much, and it'll be hugely beneficial to your personal development and your career. And if you do need some help in terms of making that move, or you want some support or some guidance in anything in terms of business, life coaching, for example, I've been through a lot of experiences. I can teach you a lot of different things about life, about business, and a huge amount of things. So if you want to do that, you can drop me a message on my Instagram or book a call through my Instagram or the link below. We can help you out. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. If you have any suggestions, please drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you later.